Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like and share. This is Sweet June News, SJ News, coming back at you with another update on the Champlain Towers in Miami, Florida. If you haven't got a chance to check out the first two videos I did on that one, go ahead and check those out. I'm going to put the links to those videos in the description box, so you can go ahead and check those two videos out in conjunction with this one. This is my third and probably final update on that situation. I just wanted to, since I did the other two videos, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on that situation there. But I wanted to wait a little bit because I wanted to get more information, as much information as I can get, so when I come on here I actually know what I'm talking about. Well, apparently in my last video I was talking about how they were trying to get the residents to, because I didn't have a lot of knowledge of condos and association fees and condos and how it all works, because I've never lived in a condo. I'm into real estate, but I still don't have a lot of knowledge about. I know I'm familiar with association fees, but I didn't know everything that initiation fees entailed. I didn't know all what was entailed. So I watched a lot of videos, news. From the news, and also there's other people here on YouTube doing videos, and they're talking about it, and watch it and just keep it updated on the news, as to trying to figure out as to why this happened. And apparently, allegedly, but they say it's pretty true, that they said an inspector came to the Champlain Towers 36 hours before this collapse happened. An inspector came 36 hours before this collapse actually happened, and he found a lot of over there by the pool, underneath the pool deck and everything like that. He found a lot of structural damage to the building. He found a lot of damage, and he was very disturbed by that, of how much damage it was. And they have had inspections in the past as well. And apparently, I like before I was saying I kind of appalled that they were expecting the residents to pay for the repairs. Well, turns out that the residents were responsible to pay money to help with the repairs of the building, because I guess when you buy a condo, you do pay the association fees, but you also pay if there's any repairs, updates that need to be done to the building. I guess the residents have to come together and pay for that as well. So they had like an association board. They had like a board of, I guess, consisting of a group of the residents, where they would meet and talk about different things, repairs or whatever needs to be done to the building, and how much it's going to cost. I can't remember. It was in the millions of how much money it was going to cost to make the actual repairs. So they knew of this damage. They had knowledge of this damage that was columns and everything that was messed up in the parking garage, which is underneath the building. They were fully aware of these things that needed to be repaired, and they were saying that it was going to take millions of dollars to repair these things. But allegedly, the association members could not come to an agreement as to, because the amount that it was going to cost to make the repairs was in the millions. The members of the association had a very difficult time coming into an agreement on how much to charge each individual resident, or they were having a problem with the amount of how much it was going to cost to make the repairs, because they were already paying an association fee, and I believe that association fee was like $900. I looked on the website of the Champlain towers. And I believe the association fees. They showed, I think before the somebody showed a video. I think they were trying to sell a unit before the accident, before the collapse. And if don't quote me, but I believe the association fees were like $900 a month. Now that's on top of your mortgage that you dropping. Okay, that's on top of your mortgage. That you paying the $900 on top of your mortgage that you dropping, and so that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Now, apparently, these people. I would say these people that lived in this condo complex probably were upper middle class. They were probably upper middle class. I wouldn't say that they were rich. I wouldn't say that they were millionaires or anything, but I would say that they were in the upper middle class income bracket. So they wasn't rich. So they had a difficult time. The problem was the association members had a difficult time coming into an agreement. They was having a difficult time with how much accepting how much it was going to cost to make these repairs. It was in the millions, and they could not come to an agreement as to how much each individual resident was going to have to come up with to make these repairs. One lady that was on the association board actually quit. She quit because she was very frustrated because she knew that there were some things that needed to be done, and they were having a difficult time coming in agreement. I mean, in other words, to make a long story short, nobody wanted to drop that money. To make a long story short, nobody wanted to drop that money. Bottom line, nobody wanted to drop that extra money to help pay for the repairs to the building. Evidently, the residents were responsible, because like in my last video, I wasn't sure. I'm like, how they gonna make the residents pay this money to help to fix this building? But allegedly, the residents were responsible, because I guess when you live in a condo, you pay your association fees, and I guess any extra repairs that is needed, your association fees either go up or you're responsible. The residents are responsible for it. They say the residents are responsible because you're buying your unit in the building. Everybody's paying for their individual unit, plus they're paying the association fees. And so the residents own the building in a sense. The residents collectively own the building. That makes sense. They collectively own the building. So they're paying whatever your mortgage is, you're paying your mortgage, and you're paying your association fees for them to keep up with, keep the upkeep and maintenance of the property and the pool and all that kind of stuff. And upkeep and maintenance of property. That's what your association fees are for. Up here, it pays for upkeep and maintenance of the property, snow removal, leaf removal, and things like that. Lawn and care of the lawn, and and snow removal, and keeping the parking lots and everything clear like that. So that's what it pays for up here. But I think the residents in the condo collectively own the whole building. Collectively, they own it collectively. So any repairs that needs to take place, it is the residents' collective responsibility to take care of it. Now, correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. Someone please feel free to correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I think that's the understanding after looking at the news clips and different videos. That's the understanding that I got, that the residents were collectively responsible for making these repairs, and they could not come to an understanding, could not come into an agreement as to how much each resident was going to be responsible to pay to make these needed repairs. Now, what they didn't realize, now I don't blame them, because if you're not rich, You know what I'm saying? If you're not rich, you're not trying to drop nine. You already paying your mortgage. You already paying $900 a month on association fees. You're not trying to drop no extra money on top of that. You're just not trying to do it. Okay, you just not trying to do all that. You know what I mean? I mean, they figure in their mind, I'm not rich. I do all right, but I'm not rich. I'm already dropping my mortgage. And I think the mortgage was, depending on the size of the unit, some of them were, I think I looked at one, I couldn't remember. It was over $1,000. I mean, that depends on which unit you had. If you had a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, it all depended on your unit. They had different unit sizes and the size of your unit and things like that. So you're already paying your mortgage, which is well over $1,000, to be $1, $2, $3, $4,000, depending on the size of your unit. And then you got to drop $900 on top of what you dropping for your mortgage. And in their mind, they were probably thinking, well, I'm not rich. I'm not trying to drop all that. But what they didn't understand and what they didn't realize was, I think had they known, I think the residents should have had more knowledge of, I think the people that were inspecting the building and all that, I don't even think they were aware that it was going to collapse. I don't think that nobody was aware that this building was going to collapse. I don't think nobody realized that. I think that the residents, they just didn't realize how bad the damage was, because they said the parking garage kept flooding. They said it kept flooding out. They had to keep pumping out the water. And the building is next to an ocean. That seawater, salt seawater, it's salt water coming in from the ocean, flooding it out the garage. Well, salt water is very corrosive. Over a period of time, it can cause a lot of damage. I'm not an architect. I'm not a contractor. I've been watching a lot of contractors on here, and it's been really interesting because they've been giving some really interesting theories as to what could have happened to Champlain Towers. And they're really giving some actual architects and contractors they're giving some very interesting theories as to what could have happened. The columns, there were a lot of the columns that was breaking down. There was a lot of flooding in the parking garage. This lady did a video of the parking garage. She was showing a unit, and she was showing the garage. This was a year or two ago. And she did a video, and in the video you can see, if I could find that video, I could put a link to it in my description box if I can find it. She was showing the garage, and you could see the puddles of water in the garage. In some areas, you could see the ceiling and see some that. So in that video, you can see some damage in that video. You can see the ceiling of the garage. You can see the water puddles in the garage. So you could see the damage. You could see the things that was going on, even if within that video itself. So my thought is, maybe this is something that happened over a period of time. It's happened over a period of time, or a period of years, because this condo complex was built in 1980. So it was a 40-year-old building. So this was something that was happening gradually over the period of 40 years. They were up for their recertification. 40-year they should have had that long before 40 years. That's a problem right there. So I think the residents, I think they were kept out of the loop as to how bad this building really was. Because if you think about it, if you're a resident, you live in a high rise, you parking in the parking garage is underneath the building, you just coming in, you parking your car, you're not really paying no attention to You know, if the columns are cracked and everything, you're not really, come on now, who's really paying attention to that? You know what I'm saying? And they didn't realize how bad this building really was. You know, they didn't really realize how bad this building really was. And I think they in the management didn't, the association just couldn't come to an agreement. I think had they realized how bad this building was, and they had contractors that were coming in there and inspecting it and actually giving them a detailed report as to deterioration, and just making it really emphasizing to them how serious this really was in this building, I think that they would have, you know, but I think everybody just underestimated everything. Nobody realized how bad this building really was. And because they didn't realize how bad it was, they didn't know. I mean, how many buildings just collapses all out the blue like that? I mean, how many buildings? That's something that's out of the ordinary. That typically doesn't happen. So these people, the residents, they pulled out over 100 bodies. Unfortunately, other than the young man that they pulled out, they didn't find anybody else alive. And so they pulled out over 100 bodies. There were some children. It was really, really sad. So my heart and prayers go out to the family members. And with that being said, though, there's another building in Miami that they closed. I can't remember. Crestview Towers. Crestview Towers in Miami. They closed that down. Now that, I looked at that building on the news. And I looked it up on Google Maps, Google Earth. It looked like the projects to me. This is supposed to be another condo building, but it looked like the projects to me. And I looked on Zillow.com, and sure enough, it's a condo complex, but it's a much cheaper condo complex than Champlain Towers. It looked like the projects to me. They had all those people move out. They had all those people move out because there was some structural damage to that building. So all those people had to move out. I have to get a news update on that. So now it's prompting them. Unfortunately, I mean, I really hate to use the word blessing in disguise. I don't really want to use that word, but because this happened, it's prompting the city to make sure these condo building owners, it's prompting them to look into the structurally the structures of other buildings, other units in the city, particularly by the ocean. It's prompting them to look at other structures, and so that's why they had those residents move out of that building. And so yeah, I think as far as that's a good thing. But I mean, it's really sad that it had to take a building collapsing and many people losing their lives in order for them to wake up and realize, oh, we need to be more diligent in inspecting these buildings and making sure that they're safe. It's sad that it had to take a collapse and many lives lost in order for them to realize that. So like I said in my other video, any building that you buy, any apartment complex or condo complex that's built by a large body of water like that, an ocean, on a beach, the foundation is not stable. It's you know what I mean? So it's really, really sad. My heart and prayers definitely go out to the families that lost their loved ones in this tragedy. It's really, really sad. And I just pray that something like this doesn't happen again. But needless to say, this goes to show you how greedy people are. This goes to show you the greed. And God gonna deal with these greedy people. He gonna deal with them. They are going to be dealt with. They got the property up for sale already. They got this property because they tore down. They put bombs in the rest, and they tore down the rest of the building because they had to. They had to, because they didn't that the building the rest of the building could have collapsed at any time. So unfortunately, the people that had to evacuate that side of the building, they lost everything. Those people lost everything because they couldn't go back in to get anything. Imagine having to leave your house and just leaving with the clothes on your a few items. It's like my thought was, were they able to get their pictures and their memories? I don't know, but it's sad. They had to evacuate. And they was not able to go. It was not safe for them to go back in the building. It's not like you can go pull a U-Haul up to the building and move the rest of your stuff out. I mean, nobody had time for that. So that's really sad. It's really sad and so the people that had to evacuate on the other side of the building, they lost everything. They lost everything. They literally have to start over because they had to tear down the rest of the building because it was structurally unsafe. So now Champlain Towers is no more, but they got that property up for sale already. And they're trying to decide what to do with the property. I said, I know they're not going to try to rebuild on that property. I said, no, they're not going to try to rebuild on that property. I think that the property should be used as a memorial. Just like 9/11, they have a nice little memorial over there for 9/11 in New York. They have a wall with all the victims and the people died. And it's like a fountain. It's they fixed it up real pretty. If I ever get a chance to get to New York, I'm definitely gonna visit where the Twin Towers is actually a memorial, of all the people that was lost on 9/11. And I think that's what they should do with Champlain Towers. I think that they should use the property as a memorial, list all the people that died in that horrific tragedy. And just like put some benches, fix it up, put some grass there, some nice trees, some pretty trees, put some benches there, have a little sidewalk going through there, put some benches there, and then have like a memorial wall where people can kind of sit down and pray and, remember their loved ones and stuff like that. I think that would be the respectable thing to do. That would be the honorable and the respectable thing to do. But for somebody to buy that property and rebuild on it, that's greedy. That's greedy. You're going to rebuild on it? All this happened? That's greedy. Now, one lady was saying she didn't want it to be a memorial, but I think that that's the respectable and the honorable thing to do. I don't think that they should rebuild. I think that they should make it a nice memorial site for the families that lost their loved ones. So hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think that they should do with that site. The building is no longer there. They got all of the bodies out. What do you think that they should do with that property? You think they should turn it into a memorial? What do you think happened to the building? What caused the collapse? Hit me up in the comment section. Sound off. Let me know what your thoughts and views are on that. And that is my third update on the Champlain Towers in Miami, Florida. Hope and pray that nothing like this happens again. Hit that subscribe button, like and share. Peace and love. This is Sweet Jean.